Imagine walking through a bustling city, full of life, trade, and culture, and then in a blink of history it disappears. No warning, no recorded catastrophe, just gone. Entire civilizations swallowed by time, leaving behind whispers of what once was. Today we journey into the mysteries of lost cities, places that vanished from maps, yet continue to haunt archaeologists and historians alike. Our journey begins in the Indus Valley, in what is now modern Pakistan. Mohenjo Daro, which means Mound of the Dead in Sindhi, thrived around 2500 BCE. Unlike other ancient cities, Mohenjo Daro was planned with meticulous precision. Grid-like streets, sophisticated drainage systems, and advanced water management that still impress engineers today. Archaeologists have uncovered multi-story houses, public baths, and even complex granaries, showing a civilization with knowledge far beyond what we expected for its time. But by 1900 BCE, the city was mysteriously abandoned. Theories abound: climate change, river course shifts, or even an invasion, but no definitive answer exists. For centuries, the city lay buried beneath layers of earth until its rediscovery in the 1920s, when British archaeologists first revealed its enigmatic streets to the modern world. Thousands of miles away, in the rugged hills of modern Turkey, lies the legendary city of Troy. For centuries, many believed Troy to be purely mythical, immortalized in Homer's Iliad as the setting of the Trojan War. That was until Heinrich Schliemann, a German businessman turned archaeologist, began digging in the 1870s. Layer upon layer of settlements, some dating back to the Bronze Age, suggested a city that had risen, thrived, and fallen multiple times. Scholars still debate which layer corresponds to the famous war described in epic poetry, but the discoveries confirmed that history and myth often intertwine. Troy was destroyed and rebuilt repeatedly, evidence of fires, invasions, and natural decay hidden beneath the soil for millennia. Its story reminds us that even the mightiest cities are vulnerable to human ambition and the passage of time. Then there's the story that has captured imaginations for centuries: Atlantis. First mentioned by Plato around 360 BCE, Atlantis was described as a powerful and technologically advanced civilization that sank in a single day and night of misfortune. Unlike Mohenjo Daro or Troy, Atlantis has never been definitively located. Theories range from the volcanic destruction of Thera, modern Santorini, to submerged lands in the Caribbean or even Antarctica. For centuries, scholars and treasure hunters alike have searched for proof, but Atlantis remains elusive, a city of legend that continues to fuel both skepticism and wonder. It represents the ultimate mystery. Could an entire civilization truly vanish without leaving a trace, or is it a cautionary tale, a metaphor for human hubris? Shifting continents, we arrive at Petra, the rose-red city carved into the cliffs of southern Jordan. Founded as early as the 5th century BCE by the Nabateans, Petra flourished as a center of trade, connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Its architectural wonders, temples, tombs, and the iconic treasury facade were sculpted directly from sandstone cliffs, blending natural beauty with human ingenuity. Yet, by the 7th century CE, Petra was largely abandoned. Trade routes shifted, earthquakes destroyed many structures, and the city slowly faded from memory. Rediscovered in 1812 by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, Petra stunned the world, revealing the resilience and artistry of a civilization that thrived in the harsh desert. The city's rediscovery shows how human ingenuity can endure, even when a civilization falls. Finally, we come to the jungles of Southeast Asia, where the sprawling temple complex of Angkor Wat in Cambodia stands as a testament to one of history's greatest empires, the Khmer Empire. Built in the early 12th century, Angkor Wat was not only a religious center, but also a symbol of imperial power, with intricate bas-reliefs depicting myths, battles, and the divine authority of kings. Yet, by the 15th century, the city declined dramatically. Scholars suggest a combination of overpopulation, deforestation, water mismanagement, and repeated invasions weakened the Khmer Empire, leaving the city largely deserted. It was rediscovered in the 19th century by French explorers, and today, it draws millions of visitors, a reminder of both human achievement and the impermanence of power. These lost cities share a common thread. They all flourished, innovated, and vanished, often leaving more questions than answers. Some disappeared due to natural disasters, others through war or shifting trade routes, and some simply faded into legend. Their rediscoveries captivate the imagination, showing us that even the most advanced civilizations can succumb to the forces of nature and time. As we continue to dig, explore, and study, each ruin whispers secrets of lives once lived, of dreams built and forgotten, and of the fragility of human endeavor. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of lost cities, the allure of what remains unseen becomes irresistible. Mohenjo Daro, Troy, Atlantis, Petra, and Angkor Wat all left clues, but the way these clues are interpreted is where the real intrigue begins. The disappearance of these civilizations was never a sudden collapse in isolation. It was often a perfect storm of environmental, social, and political factors that archaeologists painstakingly uncover piece by piece. Take Mohenjo Daro, for example. Excavations reveal evidence of sudden flooding. Layers of silt and waterlogged debris suggest that the Indus River may have shifted its course or overflowed catastrophically. Pottery and tools left in abandoned homes hint at a city deserted in haste. But there's more. Recent studies suggest prolonged droughts could have made agriculture unsustainable, weakening the city over decades before its final abandonment. What's fascinating is the absence of monumental warfare. Unlike other ancient cities, Mohenjo Daro shows little sign of violent conquest. This raises an unsettling question. Could one of humanity's earliest urban centers disappear not by human hand, but by the slow, inexorable changes of climate? Troy's story, on the other hand, is one of legend intersecting with archaeology. Heinrich Schliemann's initial excavations were controversial. He was accused of sensationalism and of destroying parts of the city while searching for treasure, but he undeniably confirmed Troy's existence. The layers of settlement revealed a city repeatedly built and destroyed, sometimes by fire, sometimes by earthquakes. Modern archaeologists continue to debate which Troy matches Homer's account. Was the famous Trojan War a historical siege, or a poetic dramatization of an ongoing struggle between rival kingdoms? The city's ruins, with fortification walls, gates, and even ancient artifacts, remind us that myth often carries a kernel of historical truth. Atlantis remains the ultimate enigma. Plato's account describes a city with advanced engineering, enormous canals, and immense wealth, yet no physical evidence has been conclusively identified. Some scholars propose it was inspired by the eruption of Thera, around 1600 BCE, which destroyed Minoan settlements and caused massive tsunamis. Others suggest Atlantis is allegorical, a moral story about the dangers of hubris. The fascination with Atlantis endures because, unlike other lost cities, it represents the unknowable. Archaeologists and enthusiasts alike continue to search, scanning ocean floors and analyzing geological formations, each expedition feeding the hope that one day the myth may meet reality. Petra's story, though less mythical, is no less compelling. The Nabateans were brilliant engineers, carving channels and cisterns into the cliffs to harvest and store water in the arid desert. Petra's sudden decline is tied to shifting trade routes. The city relied on its strategic position along caravan pathways for wealth and survival. When those routes changed, Petra's economy collapsed, and earthquakes further damaged the structures. What fascinates modern researchers is the city's rediscovery. Johann Ludwig Burckhardt's journey in 1812 reads like an adventure novel. Disguised as a Muslim pilgrim, he navigated the desert and bribed local guides, unveiling the hidden rose-red city to the Western world for the first time. Petra reminds us that cities do not disappear solely because of natural disasters. human choices and global shifts play an equally crucial role. Angkor Wat presents a different kind of mystery. Unlike the cities buried underground, Angkor's jungle engulfed its stone temples. When French explorers first documented it in the 19th century, they found a sprawling city hidden beneath thick vegetation. The reasons for its decline were complex. Overpopulation strained resources, deforestation altered water management systems, and repeated invasions by neighboring kingdoms weakened the Khmer Empire. Archaeologists also uncovered clues of changing religious practices. Some temples were abandoned as Hindu worship declined and Buddhism rose. The jungle, once a threat to Angkor's survival, became a guardian of its legacy, preserving carvings, bas-reliefs, and architectural marvels that might otherwise have been lost forever. One of the most fascinating aspects of lost cities is how each discovery rewrites history. When Mohenjo Daro's streets emerged from the earth, it challenged assumptions about the sophistication of the Indus Valley civilization. Troy's ruins blurred the line between myth and history, forcing historians to reevaluate Homeric epics as potential records of real events. Petra and Angkor Wat revealed engineering marvels that defied expectations for their time. Even Atlantis, elusive as it remains, continues to inspire investigations into human resilience and imagination. These cities also serve as cautionary tales. They illustrate that prosperity is fragile, that empires, no matter how mighty, are vulnerable to environmental shifts, economic changes, or human error. And yet, their rediscovery carries hope. Even after centuries or millennia of obscurity, the ingenuity, artistry, and complexity of human civilization can be revealed, inspiring wonder in generations far removed from their creators. As we move further into this journey, the story of lost cities transforms from mere history into a narrative of exploration, discovery, and human curiosity. Archaeologists are modern-day detectives, deciphering clues left behind in stone, clay, and earth. Each city, whether vanished beneath rivers buried under silt or swallowed by jungle, offers a window into civilizations that once thrived and vanished, reminding us that the past is never truly gone. It waits patiently for us to uncover it. Now let's focus on the city that has fascinated dreamers, scholars, and treasure hunters for over 2 millennia, Atlantis. Unlike Mohenjo Daro, Troy, Petra, or Angkor Wat, Atlantis has never been found, at least not conclusively. Its story comes entirely from the writings of Plato, around 360 BCE, in dialogues called Timaeus and Critias. He described Atlantis as a powerful island nation, larger than Libya and Asia Minor combined, with advanced technology, magnificent palaces, and a society governed by law, order, and wisdom. But according to Plato, this marvel was destroyed in a single day and night of misfortune, swallowed by the sea. Many historians and scientists have debated whether Atlantis ever existed. Some argue that it was purely allegorical, a moral tale about human hubris. Others believe Plato might have exaggerated or adapted stories from real civilizations, like the Minoans of Crete. The eruption of Thera, modern Santorini, around 1600 BCE caused a massive tsunami that devastated Minoan settlements. Could this catastrophic event have inspired Plato's account? Geological studies reveal evidence of submerged settlements and dramatic changes in the Mediterranean during that period, giving some weight to the theory. Yet, no city matching Atlantis's legendary description has been discovered, leaving the mystery tantalizingly unresolved. The allure of Atlantis lies in its duality. It is both a warning and a promise. As a warning, it shows that even the mightiest civilizations are vulnerable to natural disasters, moral decay, and overreach. As a promise, it ignites the imagination. What if a sunken city with untold treasures, sophisticated architecture, and lost knowledge still lies hidden beneath the waves, waiting to be discovered? Modern technology has only intensified the hunt. Sonar mapping, underwater drones, and satellite imagery have revealed strange underwater formations, from the coasts of Spain to the Caribbean, sparking debates over whether these are remnants of human cities or merely natural structures shaped by ocean currents and volcanic activity. Yet, perhaps the fascination with Atlantis isn't just about discovery. It's about hope. In a world where civilizations rise and fall, Atlantis represents the ultimate what if. What if we could uncover a city that defied its era? What if knowledge lost to time could be reclaimed? This is why divers explore underwater ruins off the coast of Cuba or attempt to map the depths of the Mediterranean. Every sonar echo, every strange formation, fuels the dream of finding Atlantis and solving one of history's greatest puzzles. The story of Atlantis also mirrors the human need to believe in the extraordinary. Unlike other lost cities that were forgotten and later rediscovered, Atlantis exists in collective imagination. It is a city alive in our minds, inspiring novels, films, and countless theories. Even Plato's intention might have been more philosophical than historical, using the tale to teach lessons about morality, leadership, and balance between power and ethics. In this sense, Atlantis has never truly vanished. It persists as a symbol, a challenge, and a mystery. As we consider the fates of cities like Mohenjo Daro, Troy, Petra, and Angkor Wat, Atlantis reminds us that not all vanished cities leave physical traces. Some are lost in time and myth, their existence hanging between reality and legend. Yet, whether real or allegorical, they speak to a universal human experience, the fragility of civilizations and the enduring curiosity to explore the unknown. The search for Atlantis is a search for understanding, for a glimpse of what civilizations can achieve, and what they can lose, in the blink of history. Even more fascinating is the way Atlantis connects with other lost cities. Mohenjo Daro vanished possibly due to environmental change, Troy fell to human conflict, Petra declined when trade routes shifted, and Angkor Wat succumbed to a combination of ecological and political pressures. Atlantis, real or imagined, vanished in one catastrophic event. A stark reminder that the causes of collapse are varied, yet the result is the same. A civilization erased, leaving behind stories, ruins, and the endless questions that haunt archaeologists, historians, and dreamers alike. In this search for vanished cities, Atlantis occupies a unique space. It challenges our perception of reality, urging us to look deeper, to question what we know about history, and to remain open to the possibility that some secrets of the past may never fully reveal themselves. It is a city of mystery, a civilization swallowed by the sea, yet its legend continues to shape our understanding of human ambition, creativity, and the ever-present tension between nature and society. Atlantis endures as the ultimate lost city, not because of what we have found, but because of the imagination it continues to inspire. While Atlantis remains the ultimate enigma of legend, the other lost cities, Mohenjo Daro, Troy, Petra, and Angkor Wat, reveal stories both dramatic and tangible, showing how civilizations can vanish under the combined pressures of nature, human error, and history itself. Let's return to Mohenjo Daro. Archaeologists who first excavated the site in the 1920s were astonished by its level of sophistication. Streets were laid out in a grid pattern, complete with advanced drainage systems, wells, and even public baths. Yet, the city's abandonment remains mysterious. Evidence suggests a combination of slow environmental changes and sudden natural disasters. Some theories point to tectonic activity altering the Indus River's path, which would have caused catastrophic flooding. Others highlight prolonged droughts that might have rendered farming impossible, slowly starving the city of resources. Pottery, tools, and personal belongings were left behind as if the residents fled in haste. Abandoned life frozen in time. Modern researchers also wonder if political collapse or internal social upheaval contributed to the sudden desertion. Mohenjo Daro's story is haunting because it illustrates a civilization lost not due to conquest, but to the subtle, unstoppable forces of nature and circumstance. Troy, in contrast, was repeatedly destroyed and rebuilt, layer upon layer, showing both resilience and vulnerability. Heinrich Schliemann's controversial excavations in the 19th century uncovered fortification walls, gates, and artifacts indicating a rich, war-torn past. Evidence of fires, weaponry, and crumbled structures reveal a city repeatedly caught in cycles of conflict. Perhaps the legendary Trojan War, immortalized by Homer, was based on one of these layers, a historical event transformed into epic poetry. Modern archaeologists continue to debate the precise timeline, but Troy's repeated destruction highlights the fragility of civilizations in a world where human ambition often collides with human ambition. The city's ruins are not merely stones. They are echoes of thousands of lives, of political intrigue, alliances, and battles that ultimately shape the course of history. Petra tells a story of brilliant adaptation and ultimate decline. The Nabateans carved an entire city into cliffs, creating not only monumental tombs and temples, but also sophisticated water management systems in one of the harshest deserts on Earth. Petra thrived as a hub for trade, connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean world. Yet, the city's decline was gradual but inevitable. As trade routes shifted, economic prosperity evaporated. Earthquakes damaged critical infrastructure, and by the 7th century CE, Petra had largely been abandoned. When Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt rediscovered Petra in 1812, locals had long forgotten its grandeur. The rose-red facades and carved tombs emerged as a silent testament to ingenuity and survival, yet also a reminder that even the most spectacular human achievements are vulnerable to the shifting currents of history. Angkor Wat's tale is perhaps the most dramatic of all. When French explorers first stumbled upon the sprawling jungle-covered ruins in the 19th century, they found a city swallowed by vegetation, its temples hidden for centuries. Built in the 12th century, Angkor Wat was the heart of the Khmer Empire. A city of unimaginable scale, intricately carved with bas-reliefs depicting battles, myths, and religious devotion. Yet by the 15th century, the city was in decline. Overpopulation strained resources, deforestation, and mismanagement disrupted the sophisticated water systems that sustained rice agriculture, and repeated invasions by neighboring forces destabilized the region. The temples remained as silent sentinels, guardians of a civilization that had reached extraordinary heights yet ultimately succumbed to the combined pressures of nature, politics, and society itself. The rediscovery of Angkor Wat is more than archaeological. It's a dramatic unveiling of human achievement lost to the jungle, a story preserved by stone when human memory had faded. Across these cities, a pattern emerges. Whether vanished by water, war, shifting trade routes, or ecological collapse, all reflect the precariousness of human civilizations. They teach us that grandeur does not guarantee survival, that even the most innovative societies are vulnerable to forces often beyond their control. Archaeology allows us to peer into the lives of those who came before, reconstructing streets, temples, and markets long buried under silt, sand, or vegetation. Each artifact, each ruin carries a story, of a merchant navigating Petra's labyrinthine streets, of a warrior defending Troy's walls, of Mohenjo Daro's citizens gathering at the Great Bath, or of Khmer priests performing ceremonies amid the towering spires of Angkor Wat. Yet there is also wonder in the rediscovery of these cities. Archaeologists are detectives of history, decoding clues left behind in architecture, inscriptions, and artifacts. Every excavation is a bridge across millennia, connecting modern humans with the lives, dreams, and struggles of those who vanished before us. The rediscoveries remind us that though civilizations may fall, their legacy endures, not only in the ruins themselves but in the knowledge, art, and stories preserved for posterity. As we reflect on these lost cities, one cannot help but imagine walking their streets, touching their walls, and hearing echoes of lives long gone. It is this combination of mystery, tragedy, and discovery that makes lost cities endlessly captivating. They challenge us to understand our past, question our present, and ponder the fate of our own civilization in a world where the line between survival and disappearance is sometimes frighteningly thin. As we reach the conclusion of our journey through lost cities, one truth becomes clear. The story of civilization is also the story of impermanence. Mohenjo Daro, Troy, Atlantis, Petra, and Angkor Wat, though separated by continents, centuries, and cultures, share a haunting similarity. Each rose to greatness, innovated, and ultimately vanished, leaving traces that challenge our understanding of history, nature, and human ambition. Consider the lessons these cities offer. Mohenjo Daro teaches us that technological advancement and urban planning cannot alone guarantee survival. Even a civilization with streets laid in perfect grids and complex sanitation systems can be undone by environmental shifts or resource scarcity. Troy reminds us that human conflict and ambition leave deep scars, yet also that myths and history are intertwined, preserving echoes of lives lived amidst chaos. Petra illustrates the fragility of economies and trade-dependent societies, and how human ingenuity can be both a shield and a victim of changing circumstances. Angkor Wat exemplifies the delicate balance between ecological stewardship, social order, and political power, showing that even an empire capable of monumental architecture can fall when that balance is disrupted. And then there is Atlantis, the city that may never have existed, yet continues to capture imaginations. It represents the ultimate unknown, a civilization that vanished in legend, a mirror reflecting both our fascination with lost knowledge and our fear of oblivion. Unlike cities buried under silt or hidden in jungles, Atlantis is a ghost in human imagination, reminding us that not all lessons of the past are tangible. Some exist only in the stories we tell, the dreams we dare to dream, and the mysteries that push us to explore further. Archaeology bridges time, but it also reminds us of what we cannot fully know. Every excavation uncovers fragments of lives, trade, governance, and ritual, yet the full picture remains elusive. What drove Mohenjo Daro's citizens to abandon their homes? Which battle truly led to Troy's destruction? Could Atlantis's tale be rooted in real events, or is it purely a philosophical warning? The questions persist, and perhaps that is the point. Lost cities do not merely vanish, they challenge us, invite us to wonder, and confront us with the fragile, transient nature of human achievement. The rediscovery of these cities also tells a story of hope and resilience. Burckhardt unveiling Petra, French explorers mapping Angkor Wat, Schliemann digging through Troy. These are acts of uncovering, of reaching across time to touch the past. Through stone, clay, and ruins, we encounter the brilliance, creativity, and ambition of those who came before us. Even when civilizations fail, they leave behind something enduring. A spark of human ingenuity, a lesson written in walls, canals, temples, and artifacts. Perhaps the greatest fascination of all lost cities is how they make us reflect on our own place in history. If great empires like the Khmer, the Nabateans, or the people of the Indus Valley could vanish, what does it mean for us today? How will future generations interpret the traces we leave behind? In studying these cities, we see both cautionary tales and sources of inspiration. They remind us that progress is delicate, that the forces of nature, society, and human ambition are intertwined, and that even in loss, something remarkable can endure. So, as we leave the streets of Mohenjo Daro, the walls of Troy, the cliffs of Petra, the jungles of Angkor, and the seas where Atlantis may lie, we are left with awe and wonder. These lost cities vanished without a trace, yet their stories remain vivid in our minds. They invite us to explore, to question, and to marvel at the heights human civilizations can reach, and the mysteries that time will never fully reveal. They are more than ruins, they are whispers across the centuries, calling us to listen, to imagine, and to remember. In the end, lost cities are not only a tale of disappearance, they are a testament to the endurance of human curiosity, the beauty of creation, and the inevitability of change. And as long as we continue to dig, explore, and dream, their echoes will never truly fade.